Hello everyone, welcome to the dramatic village of Peillon in the south of France, 376 meters. Give you a quick reference point. Ahead of me is Nice, we've got Tunisia, Algeria, Monaco to the left, behind me Vienna and Milan. Paris, 8 hours to my right, Bordeaux, Madrid, and of course, the port of Marseille. So now that the church bells are finished, I could actually do the EMBN show here every week. Obviously, we've got the in-house barking dog as usual. We've got a packed show. We've got 3 new bikes and some news from Bosch and also Orbea. It's 10 a.m. in the south of France. As I mentioned, US bike manufacturer Karbon got a new lightweight e-mountain bike with the Bafang motor, the M820 with a 410 watt-hour battery, 18.69 kilos for this 150mm travel bike. Carbon frame, a couple of geometry angles here. We've got a 64-degree head angle and a 77-degree seat tube angle. So like I said, the Bafang M820 motor, we will see more stuff of Bafang in the months ahead, and a SRAM XO Eagle transmission. So yes, a pretty good package from Karbon. Oh, by the way, that was the Powerline SE bike. I didn't mention the model name on that. Next up is a bike, the Colossus NE8, let's get it right this time, from Polygon. Now, the NE8 is Polygon's latest mountain bike, and get this, the price of this bike, they start around about 5,000 euros. And when you consider the kit on this bike, it really is impressive. It's a great looking bike, 160mm travel, 29-inch wheels, Shimano Steps E8000 motor, and a 630 watt-hour battery. Again, a couple of geometry numbers on this. I think what's really impressive again is that they've got the reach right at 490 in size large, 64.5-degree head tube angle, and a 77-degree seat tube angle. So, whilst it's pretty warm in the south of France, I think things are very much heating up in the e-mountain bike world. I think we are getting closer and closer towards, e-mountain bike specific geometry for that mid-travel market. Now, before we move on to more tech, what about some places to go and ride your e-mountain bike? And what better than to get an entry in for the Bosch e-mountain bike challenge? Now, the first round was at Liteville a few weeks ago. Remember, it's open to both amateurs and advanced riders. It's a fantastic day out on a mountain bike, riding great trails. The next event actually is in Germany for the Bike Festival on the 26th, 29th of May. And then it comes across to the Ardrock Festival in Yorkshire in the UK between the 21st and 23rd of July. And next up is a brand I've always been a big fan of, Liteville, and they've got a new version of their 301, the very popular 301. This is the new 301 CE Mark II. There are 4 models in the range: the Limited, the Pro, the Race, and the Elite. And those kind of names hint at some pretty top-end stuff, which they have got with the Shimano EP801 motor. That's the new version of the motor from Shimano. 27.5 wheels. Now, there's 2 different batteries on this bike. In the medium, large, and extra large, they've got a 725 watt-hour battery, whereas in the small, it's got a 630 watt-hour battery. A few interesting features on this bike. It's got the new KIS system, that's Keep It Stable, which is basically a steering damper which is located into the top tube, which, well, it says already, it dampens your steering, and you get this on motorcycles, but it's quite a new thing to mountain biking. We saw it, Dory saw it recently on one of the new Canyon bikes. It's definitely something I'd like to get my hands on, especially in places such as the loose terrain of the south of France, very loose rocks. Trying to keep that steering online is quite difficult. 170mm travel up front for the Limited, Race, and Elite models, and the Pro has got a 160mm fork. The weight on this bike, very impressive, 22.6 kilos in size medium, and the price is 8,999 up to 12,999 for that top-end bike. So guys, get yourselves over to the Liteville website and see what is a very impressive looking bike. We recently visited Orbea in the Basque Country and rode their Rise and Wild bikes. News from those guys is that they've joined forces with Shimano to create an Orbea optimization lab. Now, what this means is riders, mechanics and engineers have got together to basically expand their knowledge of e-mountain biking. So riders such as Damien Otton, who's one of the fastest enduro riders in the world, and also Gabi Torralba, and they'll be riding Rise bikes with the new Shimano Di2 and the EP801 motor, which of course has got auto shift and free shift technology. Now, as I mentioned, Orbea will work together with Shimano to do the testing, but I want to give you guys a quick insight. I've been riding the auto shift and free shift considerably the last week, and I think it is a major step in mountain bike technology, possibly one of the biggest in the last 20 years. So yes, I think a very interesting collaboration there between Shimano and Orbea to create what will essentially be the e-mountain bikes of the future. Many questions from you guys about what's the best e-mountain bike rack to have for your car. Now, obviously, e-mountain bikes are slightly heavier weight, so there is a system weight capacity which you need to bear in mind. And Thule have come out with a new rack called the EPOS. This is rated for road and eMTBs for bikes up to 30 kilos each and 60 kilos in total. Price is £970 or 999 euros. And there's a telescopic system on this which uses a smart tilting mechanism that allows you to access the boot with the rack on, and it folds up for storage when not in use. A really nice bit of kit there from Thule. And also remember, it's safe to use on the road, which is the most important thing. Actually, we've got more than 3 bikes. We've got 4 bikes in this week's EMBN show. We've got a new addition here from Mondraker. This is breaking news. They've uprated their crafty e-mountain bikes for 2023. They've got the Karbon R, which is €7,622, weighs in at 23.9, and the Crafty R, which is 6,799 and weighs in at 25.6 kilos. Remember, the big news on the Crafty bikes is that they use the Bosch Performance CX motor, 750 watt-hour battery, sizes small to extra large, suspension travel 150, 160, and also it's 170mm front on the XR bike. So there you go, folks. 4 new bikes in this week's EMBN show. Different motors, different battery capacities, different frame material, and different travel. There's lots to choose from, that's for sure. Cool places. Wow, it doesn't get much cooler than this, right? Now, to my left is actually what's widely regarded as one of the toughest downhill tracks in the world. It's where many world champions have done their training on the loose limestone rock. It's pretty terrifying. There are probably better trails up to the north of here in places such as Blozasc and Lescaren. But yes, what have you guys been up to? Well, this one has definitely got me with a bit of envy. This is Jenny, actually, who's in Gooseberry Mesa in Hurricane, Utah. What a fantastic piece of rock that is. Clear blue skies, riding some tech trails out there, not far from the Red Bull Rampage. And then, of course, you can still have some fantastic places in the UK, North Yorkshire Moors. This is Chris and a Specialized Levo, beautiful sunset there. Next up, though, this does it for me. This definitely does. This is Stephen and his custom Bergamont Trailstar Expert. The location is Bien Ime, which is on the west coast of Scotland, only 1 hour from Glasgow. Now, it seems that Stephen got so far up the hill and then had to carry the old Bergamont. I think that's the difficult thing with e-mountain bike adventures. It's good to know, exactly what's ahead of you. But then again, actually, we went on a big tour in Liteville, Garda recently, and we got into a bit of a skirmish. But that's part of the adventure, right? But definitely a good bit of map reading skills is quite handy when it comes to getting out to some of these out of the way places. And then finally, this is a shot from Tony, who's in Palm Springs, California, and the background there, home of the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway. Beautiful. We've gone through our socials, our videos, and our YouTube community to hunt down some of the latest questions from you guys. Please ask away. I'm here to help you make some decisions or give you information on as much as I can in the e-mountain bike world. The first question this week is from James M. is what's the best strategy to maximize the lifespan of a battery? James, I'm really sorry, but I can't actually answer that in a short. I can't actually give you a short, long answer, but we have done many videos on expanding the lifespan of your battery. let me give it in a summary. Obviously, first one is don't use turbo so much. Second one is put some more air in the tyres. Maybe it depends. You see I'm already in a bit of a storm here because there's so many variables. There's tyres, there's your rider weight, there's the compound of your tyres, there's where you ride. There's, I mean, I think for me one of the biggest sources of sucking the life out of your battery is soft, boggy ground that you get in Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. So. Lifespan of your battery, off the bike wise, I think there are some very clear guidelines in terms of the percentage that you store your battery at, where you store your battery at. So please do take a look at some of the videos. I'll leave a link down below for you and it'll give you all the information. Second up is from Into the Brake Run. How would you persuade an analog bike user to buy an eMTB instead? Long silence. I think there's a simple answer to that question. You simply get double the amount of riding done, and who doesn't want to ride more trails? It's simple as that, basically. So this week's question is, if you own an eMTB, how did you buy it? And the second part of the question is, what do you consider a reasonable price for a modern eMTB? I think it's an interesting question, isn't it? Because if you think about it, lots of these bikes have got the same motor, be it a Shimano EP80, EP801, you've got a Bosch Performance CX motor. Those are just two examples, obviously there's lots more. And the bottom line is, if I was to pedal up to the top of that hill there, a bike with the same motor and battery, which was £5,000, would be just as quick as one which is £10,000. So I think it's a really interesting question because there is definitely diminishing returns when you spend more money on an e-mounted bike. You know, it basically comes down to lightweight parts. Yes, you're going to get a few more clicks on the suspension, but you know, when it comes to climbing, I think it's down to rider weight, tyres, and the mode you use. So yeah, please get involved in that question because it's definitely a big one. Sorry guys, we're gonna have to skip quickly through this week's bike vault because we've got to drive west, catch a plane home, back to the wet and wind of Wales. Grant's Mondraker Dusk out in Oregon. That's a really, really nice shot. Next up, Martin, Cube Stereo 140 HPC Pro. That's in Oslo, Norway. Martin, I'm gonna give you super nice for that. And so I'm gonna give a super nice this next. That's a really, really cool shot. This is in Wiley Coyote in South Wales. Again, if you're looking for a place to ride, this place south of Blackwood, Wiley Coyote has some fantastic trails. This is Andrew and his Santa Cruz Bullet there. Oh, and look at this shot here. Jacqueline, Giant Live in McDowell Mountain. I mean, how can I not give a super nice to that? Guys, thanks so much for submitting your pictures in the bike vault. Keep them coming. Some beauties, that's for sure. Apologies for possibly the shortest bike vault ever. I promise I will get back up to speed and present more of your bike shots in the weeks ahead. Time now to get social. What's been going on? Well, obviously Chris Ackrig has been out with Lemmy, his dog, doing some laps. I mean, Chris really has raised the bar when it comes to what's possible on an e-mounted bike. If you don't follow him, please go and follow Chris Ackrig and riding his white bike. Yes, he does ride a mountain bike as well, but what he can do on an e-bike is proper stunning. Austin Tucker has been out sending on his local trails on his Levo. And then another day, another Levo. This is the trails I'm viewing this video from Thomas Benedetti. Look pretty amazing, that's for sure. And that's it for this week's EMBN show from the beautiful Peillon in the south of France. Please do let us know your thoughts on those 4 new bikes from Liteville, Polygon, Mondraker and Karbon. Coming up on the channel this week on Sunday, we've got a big piece of rock. We've got a very, very big piece of rock. I'm a little bit bruised and scarred. The question is, did I make it? Don't forget to tune into Sunday's video. It's a big one.